We welcome you to this broadcast of men's basketball on NKTelco Sports. We're at the Ohio Northern University Sports Center where Baldwin Wallace will take on Ohio Northern. Tonight's game brought to you by the following sponsors: John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, Jalapeno's Mexican Grill, Whatever Cards and Games, and NKTelco. Bring you tonight's game, Ohio Northern and Baldwin Wallace. I'm Dave Helmstetter. With me tonight, Michael Hearn, as always, and we've got men's basketball, and this becomes a very important Ohio Athletic Conference clash for that in the race for the final playoff spot for the OAC tournament. Something is going to have to go one way or the other tonight for these two teams, Michael.
Yeah, I've heard teams at 9-12 on the year, 5-9. You talked about it before we went on about needing big Heidelberg win tonight to beat Capital, who's 7-7. Kind of try to find their way into that last spot, and you know it doesn't get easier from there the rest of the way. I mean, Northern's got John Carroll, they're ranked number 6, and then John Carroll gets Baldwin Wallace next week. But Baldwin Wallace has lost 3 straight. They come in after getting beaten by Otterbein by 10 on Saturday. Not a lot of great things came from that, except for one young man had 25. Northern didn't help themselves on Friday night when they went to Columbus to play Capital. A 3-point loss. Got 29 and 15 from Adam Scott and C.J. Napier combined, but they're going to need a monster night from anyone not named those two guys. You need 3 or 4 scores on what is apparently frost whiteout night for Northern with the new jerseys.
Yeah, and when you look at the schedule, a very tough loss for Ohio Northern to lose by 3 at Capital last Friday. But then you look at Capital's upcoming schedule, and Coach Damon Goodwin's team's got a pretty tough road ahead themselves.
Yeah, and it's that odd thing, though, because you can't get caught looking forward. I know they're not on the road in Tiffin against Heidelberg tonight. That'll be a battle, which is going on right now. But a lot of very, very important games tonight. The one here in Ada in front of what should be a good crowd. And then we're also scoreboard watching the game up in Berea that will determine more than likely who wins the OAC women's regular season title.
Last time these two teams met was in early January. Baldwin Wallace took a 70-63 win at home. C.J. Napier and Adam Scott had 20 and 18 points, and definitely Ohio Northern will have to have more of that here tonight. National anthem is upon us. We'll take a break. You are watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Whatever Cards and Games in Ada is your locally owned, family-friendly business for all your gaming needs. We carry a wide range of collectible card games, board games, family games, role-playing games, educational games for all ages, and more. Stop in today for your much-needed expansion packs and war miniatures. We are an official tournament store for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Cardfight Vanguard. Expect an enjoyable time at Whatever Cards and Games, where there's fun for everyone.
Four Seasons Drive-Thru, we have the coolest beverages in town and specials to satisfy all appetites.
Check out our Facebook page for all the details and times of Brownie's Pies. Get this great pizza by the slice or take home a whole pie. And don't forget his spectacular subs.
At Four Seasons Drive-Thru, we have all the supplies you need for game day celebrations.
Four Seasons Drive-Thru, 205 North Main Street in Ada. Great drinks, great food, wonderful service, and amazing prices.
Go Bears!
Nareda Lanes in Ada offers men's league bowls on Mondays and Wednesday evenings, women's league bowls on Thursday evenings, couples bowls on Friday evenings, kids bowl on Saturday mornings from December through March, Scotch mixed double bowls on the last Saturday of every month, Open bowling on Saturday evening. Saturday afternoon, reserve the bowling alley for children's birthday parties. And on Sunday, lanes are available to reserve for birthdays of any age as well as for group events. Check out NarragaLanes.com for more info.
Back here at the Ohio Northern University Sports Center, introduction of the starting lineups by our public address announcer Mike Miller. First for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, as the lineups will be introduced here in just a moment. Officials for tonight's contest: Jack Schmeezing, Kyle Ray, and Nick Terry.
Also can't say enough about Coco McLaughlin, who just knocked out the national anthem, one of the cheerleaders, and a young lady from Bluffton.
Did a beautiful job of that rendition as well. There you look into the Baldwin Wallace huddle. Starters coming up here in just a moment here for head coach Tom Heil.
Yeah, you get a handful of guys that can really flat out score. Ashton Price at 15 a game. You got Jake Snyder over 10 a game. Anthony Mazzeo, he can fill it up. Jackson Simmons. I mean, 4 different 10-point per game scores or more. That's what makes this offense dangerous. But the oddity is they give up half more point a game than what they score.
Their defensive tendencies are a little bit strong. They're looking for a shootout. They like to get the ball up the court. That's what is pretty apparent. Our starting lineup for Baldwin Wallace. There you see number 3, Anthony Mazzeo, leader on the team and scoring, second in the OAC at 17.9 points per game. Number 11, Jackson Simmons. Number 14, Zoltan Nagy. And introduced prior to that, Ashton Price and Jake Snyder. And Baldwin Wallace does have some firepower as they've averaged 76 points per game on offense. And now for the home team, the Ohio Northern University Polar Bears under head coach Neil Young. Coach Young, 137 and 133 in 10 seasons as a head coach. As a promotional video. Getting a good look at this one, Michael.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, somebody did a good job putting this together. I don't know that I would have preferred the dubstep music that they're using, but they've clearly done a good job. They use the lights you see in kind of a Saturday afternoon. Big TV presentation. They kind of like the March Madness lights. Different jerseys for tonight, too. Kind of a sharp look, but if you were not sitting where we are and haven't seen these kids about 15 times, you would probably not be a fan of these jerseys.
It's a different look, that's for sure. There's number 2, Will Miller, out of Ottoville. Will averaging 7.3 points per game. Number 5, a senior, Landon Long at 5'11" out of Mason High School, 10.6 points per game. Number 15, big man in the middle at 6'8", Michael Berner out of Springboro, 5.5 points per game. And number 22, a senior, CJ Napier, 6'6", out of Bishop Fenwick High School. And number 23, out of Wapakoneta, Adam Scott. And Adam has his own cheering section here tonight.
Yes, he does. He's got pretty much the entire boys basketball program sitting back beside me. They are over my shoulder, and a lot of dignitaries here. They brought the entire house. I think Wapakoneta might be empty right now.
We're about set. Boy, those uniforms are different, aren't they?
Yeah, the frost white, the white on white with that kind of thin orange line. As Berner gets set to jump it up, and you're not going to lose Baldwin Wallace either as you look at the Keyhole Pizza keys to the game. Northern wins the tip. One thing that the Yellow Jackets want to do is continue to shoot the ball well from 3, slow down Berner and CJ Napier in the paint, take advantage of their fast break, make those count on their keys. Northern works through their first possession, their keys to the ball game, get that guy going. First shot missed by Napier. Concentrate on your ball screen defense and your backside help, your conversion defense, and one thing that coach has talked about a couple of times about screening the bodies that are moving. If you see a guy, pick him up.
Those are our keys to the game tonight, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. Mazzio's shot no good, and Ohio Northern with the rebound.
It's one of the 1,000-point scorers at Baldwin Wallace, the 44th member. Did it back in November when he got Player of the Week honors. There's the current Player of the Week in CJ Napier.
Shot no good. Rebound comes down to Nagy.
I do like what Northern's done their first 2 possessions, though. They have gone right inside and showing, hey, we're not afraid of you. There's a nice block. It must be something that kind of came from the first time they met.
Napier with the block. Here come the Polar Bears on offense. Miller out front, back over to Scott. Goes inside. Burner will have it. Long slipping into the lane. Dishes it off to Miller.
I think a guy like Miller or Long is going to be a key as this game goes along. Not only their ability to move the basketball.
There's our first basket of the evening. Landon Long with a short jumper.
But to score the basketball.
Price with it into the lane. He'll lose the ball. Picked up by Long.
Just trying to argue that it was tipped away.
Official says it went off your foot. End of argument. End of discussion.
Neil Young in his first year here, his 11th year as a collegiate head coach. And where I disappear from is Zoltan Nagy in front of me. 6'6" sophomore. He may be bigger. Say he and Burner are listed at 6'6" and 6'8", but I swear they're pretty much the same size.
Tell you, that's the biggest thing that Baldwin Wallace, one of the concerns is the size inside and the ability of Ohio Northern to rebound.
Jake Snyder, that was his 130th three attempt of the year.
Long takes it to the baseline. He'll push it back out to Miller. Miller goes into the lane. Defense converges. Shot a little bit short. Ball is loose, and it's going to be out of bounds off of Baldwin Wallace.
Now, the ball clearly goes off Northern, but what they're arguing, and the Baldwin Wallace bench next to us, is that maybe C.J. Napier kind of helped facilitate the ball coming out of the young man's hands and ending up ONU's ball.
Adam Scott will toss it in. Miller will have it out front. Napier.
He's got a great matchup defensively, too, by the way. Kid that can fly in Jackson Simmons.
Miller. Long on the baseline. Back to Napier. Shot rolls in. That Napier touch, Michael. It just curls the right way.
I just assume he went to church this week because that seemed like one of those you pray for. Could you please help me on this one?
And it went in.
A lot of people betting on the Super Bowl went to the same service.
Outside three-point attempt, no good by Mazzio. Rebound comes down to the Polar Bears.
I'm just trying to hit a prop bet. So will the anthem be under 2.5 minutes? Probably not.
Scott. There's the move. Left-handed shot, no good. I think it was Burner might have had the tip, but it's off target. And here comes Mazzio.
17.9 a game. We talked about it in the top 2 in scoring in the league. But you've got 2 of the 5 best shooters in the OAC here tonight.
Out front it goes. Mazzio for 3. There it is. Well, we can talk all day about Mazzio and shooting threes.
That's his 55th 3 on the year, and it brings his team to within 1. But there are so many different things about him. The Stark County Player of the Year when he was at Massillon Jackson. He's also a couple of different college players on that team.
Scott for 3. Shot no good. Napier gets the rebound, dishes it off to Long. Snyder back on defense. He'll bring it up.
With Long, he didn't try to go reverse layup.
On the side, no good. Price, it's going to bounce Long, and Price will gather it in by the timeline.
Goes to show you how much Baldwin Wallace loves shooting the 3. They have 3 guys with 83 or more attempts, and 2 of them at 127 and 129.
It's going to be a foul as Napier made his move to the basket. It's going to go against Jackson Simmons.
Jackson Simmons, by the way, I read a really neat story about him. He went to Wadsworth, 6'5", 210, the sophomore. When he was in high school in 2018, he actually cut off 16 inches of his hair to donate to cancer patients. It's clearly grown back because of the man bun that he's got working over there.
In the lineup for Ohio Northern is Ethan Bell, as is Carson Conley.
Oh.
Looking for Burner.
Scott had the right idea. I'm just not sure if Burner ever got a chance to see it. Now the shot clock, you see Coach Neil Young walk back. All right, let's figure out what to do here.
Here comes the inbound pass. Miller, one motion, shot no good. And boy, Jared Logan way up there for the rebound.
Almost as high as Miller went to try to put that one in. Logan, sophomore, played in his 12th game of the year.
Miller with a steal. He had a lot of them this season. Number 36 right there. Lead pass, and it's going to go off of Northern.
See the substitution to bring in Heath Jeffries, 6'6" senior.
Burner will catch the breather with 15:04 to go on the John and Tony's Restaurant scoreboard clock.
Women of Ohio Northern up 11-9 in the first quarter up in Berea.
That's another huge basketball game for Ohio Northern fans.
Try to get that home game here before long.
Logan shot no good, up and in by Zoltan Nagy.
Not even sure how he caught it. It was an all-Ohio pick. And he actually has got quite a lineage out of St. Edward High School just outside of Lakewood. His his uncle, Eric Flannery, is the head coach at St. Ed's. He also turned down an offer to play at Kentucky.
Logan, shot no good. Soccer.
How about that, though? Dayton, Pitt, and Kentucky all came after him because he's a 6'6" goalkeeper. And he said the reason why he picked Baldwin Wallace is that his brother would be a senior when he was a freshman last year. And Baldwin Wallace was the only place that would let him play both sports, and he wanted to be close to home.
Scott gets it inside to Jeffries. Back over to Bell. Cross-court pass unsuccessful.
It's not going to work from the corner.
Mazzio, shot doesn't fall, but there's a whistle and there's going to be a foul.
And, you know, that's kind of one thing that Northern has had a problem with of when the shot clock is winding down, of trying to throw across the top of 6'6", 6'8" guys.
13:46 to go, first half. We got a break in the action. Baldwin Wallace 5, Ohio Northern 4. You are watching college basketball on Ohio Northern on NKTelco Sports.
Households are using more connected devices than ever before. TVs are streaming, smartphones are browsing, security cameras are watching, and virtual assistants are, well, assisting.
You'll need an umbrella today.
As you add more devices, we are constantly improving our technology to deliver the fastest and most reliable internet to your home. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get NKTelco high-speed internet with speeds up to 1 gig. Call 1-888-NKTelco today.
5-4, Baldwin Wallace. Take a look into the huddle and head coach Tom Heil. That's an interesting story, Bob, that you're chatting about more of the Baldwin Wallace player with soccer and basketball choices. That's something to play both sports anyway, regardless of what level.
Yeah, and to have a 6'6" goalkeeper. And I remember seeing a handful of the games thinking, man, they got a 6'6" goalkeeper. And I've actually seen him play in person, so I knew he was pretty good. And you saw there, by the way, Tom Heil overall is 132 and 89, but he actually played not that far from here. Was part of the school record 18 wins in the 06-07 season as a point guard at Bluffton. And once upon a time, he was the OAC Men's Golf Coach of the Year at Baldwin Wallace. He had some nice courses up there. Did you see him there with a beard taking a drink out of his water?
Mazzio misses his first free throw. Here comes the second toss, and it's good. Mazzio, a 76% free throw shooter. He'll catch a breather.
He's got to go talk to the 18 coaches sitting next to us. Northern.
They do have a staff.
They do. Northern at 4-4 at home this year. Baldwin Wallace 3-5 away from Berea.
Ray Ellington into the lineup for Baldwin Wallace. There you see him on defense. Back around to Mason Studer into the lineup for ONU.
I have so badly wanted to call Ray Ellington the Rain, because if you remember, North Carolina had a guy named Wayne Ellington, and he was Wayne the Rain Ellington because he would just rain down threes. And the whole time I'm writing it down, I had to rewrite it and write Ray, that his name was not Wayne. He's a heck of a shooter. Ray is too.
Inbounds pass comes to Napier. He's going to try and move inside the lane. We've seen him do this a lot this season. Back out. And the shot just off by Conley.
See,
Kind of a
CJ's
slow start here at 6'4".
Yeah, I was going to say, CJ's doing about everything you can to try to get his buddies open, but just nobody's knocking shots down. First time these teams met, Northern went 5 of 16 from 3.
Logan, he'll go inside to Ellington, off the glass. Hey, nice move.
Ends up being,
we'll call him Ray, though.
it's actually Rob Watson, but Ellington 25 was in there and helped set that up. Watson's another one you got to watch out for. A big kid.
Out front is Jeffries. There's Bell. Into the lane, Studer, short jumper, he'll get it.
It's going to have to be a lot of run and gun stuff for Northern because you can see it feels like everybody, here's a 3 on the way. There's Ellington.
Battle for the rebound. Comes down to Bell.
He snagged it, looked down of, are you coming with me or what are you doing?
Inside feed, there's the bucket. Heath Jeffries. We're tied at 8-all.
Well, this is a point I was going to try to make, is that it's going to have to be a lot of run and gun stuff for Northern, of maybe getting shots where they're not used to, because everywhere they go, there's a 6'5", 6'7", 6'8" guy just closing down inside the lane.
Out front, Watson with it. Driscoll, short jumper is good, and Luke Driscoll will connect.
Sounds like a football player. Was the Pacific Coast League Player of the Year, the Monterey County Player of the Year. He's actually from Carmel by the Sea, California.
A lot difference than Maria.
Well,
turnaround jumpers, Napier.
Also, they've never had Clint Eastwood as their mayor, whereas he has had that. So a lot of movie stars
work his way inside, and he'll get it back out. Watson, he'll connect.
That's one way to do it. He's got that kind of high throw over the head. But I love that story about Driscoll, about Clint Eastwood being the mayor. And did you know where the school that he went is called the R.L. Stevenson, Robert Louis Stevenson School. In that part of California, they have all kinds of crazy laws. Men can't go out in public without their jacket and their pants matching. Thanks a lot, Clint Eastwood.
Logan tips it away for Baldwin Wallace. Napier puts it up at the buzzer. And it's a shot clock violation for Ohio Northern, and Baldwin Wallace will have it.
He did everything he had to there. I mean, that ball, I think he thought maybe was tapped into the backcourt, would have changed the possession, got it back, and he's got, the weird thing is we saw he has more than enough range to make that shot.
Baldwin Wallace with the basketball and a 2-point lead as they bring it up court. They'll work it to the left side. Driscoll back over to Watson. He'll take it inside. He's working on Napier.
He walked. He carried it.
Turnover by Baldwin Wallace.
Should be their
can tie it up.
It's a big possession for Northern, but like I said, you can tell Baldwin Wallace is kind of selling out from the block. About the second block to the free throw line. Anytime Northern gets there, they're just trying to knock it down.
Ooh, Miller, beautiful move inside. Will Miller.
Spin cycle.
Ties it up. 12-all.
One of the guys I said would have to have a big night.
Shot no good. Out front by Simmons.
Allen County Airport just called about that shot.
That was up there.
If we had a camera up there, it would have hit it.
I'd have touched it. Napier, long. Napier goes inside, ball goes out to the outside.
Miller just enough, it looked like, of the hook, or he stepped out a little bit with his hip. I didn't kind of see which way that went, which way they got it, but they called it a blocking foul. And that's what happens too right there. When you have an aggressive defense, that's swarming on everything, you're trying to do anything you can to sort of get that extra little inch. And I think had he done that, he would have had an open lane.
Simmons with it. Back over to Watson. Now Snyder. Simmons, turnaround, no good. Napier with the rebound. Miller looks up court.
He's got to just forget about what just happened and make the next play.
Very good point. Long, looking for Scott. Kick basketball, so Ohio Northern will toss it in.
Sultan's back in. ONU women leading at 12-11 against Baldwin Wallace in the first quarter. Pretty good crowd there.
Long with the basketball. Burner has it out front. Long will shoot the three. Got it. Landon Long. 28th pointer of the season.
Long hits that shot, but Burner does the big effort there because not only does he screen his guy and Long's guy, but it gives him an opportunity there to have a clean look at it.
Mazzio.
That shouldn't go in. He had to double pump that one falling away.
He's got 6.
Like he thought he was LeBron last night.
Feed inside Burner.
Didn't know where he was.
Ohio Northern turnover.
He was so far underneath the basket, I think he didn't realize he could just go straight up with it. But that's what I said earlier about Baldwin Wallace is making ONU do things that they're not used to doing.
Snyder out front. Back over to Nagy. Here comes Snyder. Got a whistle. 3-second violation.
Simmons, he had a couple words. It was not helpful. They said, please go the other way, sir.
Northern up by a point. Miller to Burner. Short jumper, no good. Simmons with a rebound.
It seemed like Burner was caught in the middle of 2 decisions again. That's twice now that, ooh, great Harden sidestep for 3.
Snyder for 3, shot no good, and Napier with the rebound.
But he's gotten caught in between 2. He doesn't seem comfortable when they get him the ball kind of down on the block off the screen. And he can't throw through the middle of 3 different guys.
Loose ball picked up by Ellington. Back over to Mazzio. Mazzio working on Miller.
It's one thing Miller doesn't get a good enough credit for, I don't think, about coming in and trying to defend the top guy. This time Mazzio makes him look silly for his 8th point.
Mazzio, as we said, 17.9 points per game, shoots 46% overall from the field. Good shooter, and he puts Baldwin Wallace up by a point. Long over to Burner. He's going to toss it into Napier. There's the move. Turnaround shot, no good. Simmons will grab the rebound. Here comes Snyder.
Let's see again, if you're going to run that reversal of what Northern's doing right now, Ellington for 3 offline, you have to have Burner just does not seem comfortable to me when they get him the ball down there of what he's going to do with it.
Napier for the easy bucket. He's had a couple real good looks at it. Like you said, Michael, looks a little bit uncomfortable there.
It's kind of, remember, we talked about this in the last game about how he was doing so well in the screen game, and you kind of go on the reversal of bringing CJ up top and let him kind of come away. You're trying to get back to him, but Burner's got to be confident with the basketball.
Out front, Mazzio shot no good, and Long with the rebound.
Parked at John and Tony's and just pulled up a shot.
Napier, Long, Miller, Burner, Scott, Long into the lane. Guarded by Snyder.
Something had to have happened. He didn't just lose it himself.
Looking for the foul, but they don't call it. We've got a break in the action. 5:36 to go here. First half of play, Ohio Northern 17, Baldwin Wallace 16. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
has been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Let's take a look at this one more time. That's the last play.
I mean, that looks like a hand to me. At least his fingertips scraping across the ball.
I think the hand on hand, so.
And again, that's how we know going to break, we're going to get a good shot. We always are going to get good shots. You can make for that what you want, but ONU women, by the way, have opened up an 8-point lead against Baldwin Wallace up in Berea. They're leading 19-11. Still up, they just started the second quarter.
Baldwin Wallace with the basketball. Price into the lane, he'll dish it off. And foul is going to be on Burner, I believe, right? Number 3, make that Ethan Bell, who's into the lineup.
It's kind of funny, Rob Watson. You see him there. He wears 21 because he kind of reminds me of a high school version of what Kevin, I'm thinking from the Celtics. Kevin Garnett.
Kind
of a Kevin Garnett, kind of body type of what Kevin Garnett was. He's got 5 now.
Second free throw, no good. Ford comes off to the Ohio Northern, and Blake Michael, number 14. Burner with it. Michael, 15-footer. Burner, he'll tip it back out to Bell. Gets it over to Miller, open 3, got it. Will Miller. 21st 3 of the season for the freshman from Ottoville.
How big is that one, though? That feels like one of those shots that's worth more than 3.
2017, Ohio Northern with the lead on the John and Tony's Restaurant scoreboard. Ashton Price. Back over to Snyder. He'll connect. We are tied.
That's not even fair.
4 minutes, 35 seconds to go.
Jake Snyder has a handful of his career highs against Northern.
Northern almost turned it over, and Scott's going to turn it into a bucket. Adam Scott.
With a tongue
First
hanging
basket.
out and everything.
First basket of the half.
Snyder's actually number 2 in the OAC with assists with 91.
Inside feed.
Offensive foul.
Jared Logan.
Great job by Jeffries, just sort of slid over as he saw the pass coming and absorbed the contact. And if you remember, a couple of games ago, Coach Young said to you, if you're going to be in this program and in this culture, you will slide over, you will take those charges.
He said it very clearly.
Yes, very, very poignantly. We will not allow guys not to be willing to take those charges in this program. So good job by Jeffries.
Ethan Bell with the basketball. He's out front, looking inside. Burner goes inside. He'll come back out. Now it's over to the right side of Miller. Miller comes out. Watson gets a hand on it, gets it to Napier. Napier goes inside. He'll push it out. Miller's open. Shot no good. Rebound Napier. Turnaround jumper, it doesn't go. Burner's going to tip it, and it's going to go Baldwin Wallace basketball with 3:35 to go. Pretty physical battle for the rebounds.
I think this might be for CJ. Nope. I'm surprised because CJ's pleading his case on the other side about exactly what you're talking about, but he looks gassed right now. He's having to work hard just to get one shot up.
Price with the basketball. He'll get it back over to Snyder. They're working around to the right side. Mazzio, he'll connect.
He could get his shot from anywhere.
Kid's a shooter, isn't he?
54 threes on the year, but I mean, His career high, by the way, is 45. He went off at Hiram a couple years ago.
Inside pass, Miller. Shot doesn't fall. Rebound, Snyder. Mazzio, right side. Fullback jumper, shot off target. Miller will chase it down in the corner. Not a lot of scoring, but two teams really going at each other.
I think you can kind of figure that out. Second time around, each team has made adjustments from what happened up in Berea.
Burner. Shot doesn't go.
I swear he was thinking about dunking it at one point.
Mazzio looking for Watson, tipped away by the Polar Bears. I think he should have dunked it.
I think he jumped a little farther out than maybe he's used to when he's able to do that, and kind of realized it about 3/4 of the way back down of, I'm not going to be able to make that.
Ashton Price with it. Anthony Mazzio. Nagy. Price.
Hey, it looked like Long.
Is that Long with the
Or
block?
Bell, actually.
Bell?
I think it was Bell.
Bell with the block. Long will have it. He's out front. Into the lane. Dumps it off. Burner will draw the foul and go to the line.
I was trusting you because about 8 feet of individuals just pretty much made my view disappear. Coaching staff tried to get themselves a good look at it. It's always the guys in the front row.
Always is. Burner will go to the line. Let's see what he can do at the free throw line, and he'll connect.
You see the Northern bench again. Just trying to hope that he's better than the 23 of 45 he shoots on the year.
The second free throw is good, and he is. 2 for 2, his first 2 points of the night.
It's better than 1 for 2.
Ashton Price, into the lane. Back over to Watson. Snyder will handle it out front. Bell all over him. Short shot is good as Mazzio. He's into double figures. He's got 12.
You can watch that play 1,000 times and probably not tell me how they slipped that ball through that window. There's no reason he should have been able to get that shot from that kind of downward angle.
Napier. Miller. It's going to be a block this time. He'll go against Watson. That'll be his first.
Here's the replay. I think it's a good call.
Excellent call.
Folks in the Yellow Jacket faithful are not real thrilled about it.
Camera work right there, right on top of that call.
ONU's going to have to work to get a shot here because Jackson Simmons just checked back in, and they did not get really anything off of him with him guarding C.J. Napier.
Inside Burner. Jackson Simmons at 6'5". He plays just a lot taller. Bell, short jumper, and he hits it. 26-24.
How do you beat that guy? You just go around him.
Snyder, he'll find Simmons, and Simmons shot off target, and Bell will bring it up court.
You don't need a 3 here. You can slow down your offense and get a good look at it. That's what Bell does, tried to rip one inside to Burner.
Burner will pick it up. Here comes Bell. Napier. Short jumper, no good. And that's going to be on Napier.
Yeah, just continued his way through, and another turnover for the Polar Bears. So we hit the final 23 seconds with the clock of the shot clock off. Back in Ray Ellington, the freshman. So make a substitution here at 26-24. C.J. Napier getting the offensive foul. ONU women lead 21-19 in the second. The bright orange, or the bright orange on the left side, the bright green of Ellington. So Jake Snyder will just walk it across. The senior playing with 3 points already. Will hop step across the Polar Bears logo, trying to get rid of his defender. Now with 9, waits for the screen, comes left for Ellington, back up top. Ellington for 3, short, off the run. Here comes Bell, toss from half court, good if it goes. Just off the front of the rim. And Ohio Northern takes a 26-24 lead into the halftime break. A low-scoring affair here in Ada, but an important one as we get a chance to talk to Coach Young here in a couple of seconds to see what exactly he thought of the first 20 minutes.
Say we're with Ohio Northern coach Neil Young. Coach, first half seems like a real defensive struggle. As you go forward in this one, you know, what does Ohio Northern have to do to break away from Baldwin Wallace?
Yeah, good defense, bad offense. I don't know which one it is, but both teams are really playing hard. You know, I think we just have to make some shots. You know, we're getting some good opportunities. Like, we've missed a few at the rim. I think our movement is pretty good. I think we got to set a few more back screens and flare screens. Those seem to be the screens they're having the most trouble with. But, like, this two teams fighting for their season, so I wouldn't expect anything less.
Mazzio, he's an excellent shooter. How do you contain him in the second half?
I mean, it's just over the course of 40 minutes, we just got to try to wear him down. Will Miller's doing a great job of making him work for everything. We just got to keep it up.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Ohio Northern with the lead here at halftime. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Wagner's IGA has been servicing their communities for more than 95 years, spanning 3 generations. Wagner's founded their business on 2 basic principles: excellent customer service and quality products. Visit all our locations and experience the finest selection of deli, fresh meats, and variety of beverage choices. While there, don't forget to check out our vast selection of fresh coffee beans, produce, dairy, and bakery items. Visit Wagner's today in Minster, Fort Laramie, and New Bremen, and check us out on Facebook.
Back here at Ohio Northern University Sports Center. Ohio Northern up by 2, 26-24. Critical OAC game for both these two teams, as we said at the onset of tonight's game. As we take a look at our numbers here at halftime, you look at it, and it's really a possession-by-possession battle almost. I myself thought Baldwin Wallace would be able to get out and run with it a little bit, but that hasn't really happened here in the first half of play, Michael.
I'm going to jinx it. But look at the free throw numbers. 2 physical teams have combined to shoot 6 free throws. And it was a physical first half. We saw it on a couple of different things, but if your Twitter works now, get on, tell your people to subscribe and watch the rest of this game, because kind of a lot of ways that we've described this game, this might be coming down to who has the ball last.
Very much so. There you see Ohio Northern University coach Neil Young talking to his players as we're just a few seconds away from the start of the second half. You take a look at first half leaders, and of course Anthony Mazzio with the 12 points, but it was interesting that Coach Young credited his defense on Mazzio, because Mazzio really is only 4 out of 10 from the field.
I mean, offensively, Northern had 8 different guys score. That's about as much balance as you can get. But as we've seen, generally when they succeed, they have it pared down to about 3 guys. With Scott, maybe Miller being the third, but obviously C.J. Napier being that lead guy. They've got to be able to get shots, stop Mazzeo from getting good looks. He had 2 ridiculous looks in the first half. One of them, I can't even describe to you how physics let it happen, but it's a real challenge. I want to see how Northern, their first couple of possessions, work their inside-outside game with having Burner down and CJ kind of playing as a rover.
Ohio Northern did have some opportunities inside. Baldwin Wallace will have the basketball first. Ashton Price gets it back out to Anthony Mazzeo. Back over to the right side of Nagy. Here comes the 3, and there it is from Ashton Price. And I was going to note, Price was scoreless in the first half, and he's on the scoreboard with a 3.
He said, that's fine. Average 15 a game. I've hit 29 threes now on the year. I can put that down. And I was just going to say, too, he's the guy, the first time he touched the ball, they needed to get involved.
Polar Bears will turn it over.
10th time they've done that.
Down court comes Snyder. He'll go back out. Nagy, he'll connect. So a pair of 3s.
That's his 2nd of the year. It's just his 5th shot from outside. And you see, he wasn't comfortable right away, because if you watch his right foot, he kind of taps it to set his own rhythm.
Inside Miller, and he'll score.
He's Northern's leading scorer with 7.
30-28. Baldwin Wallace with the lead early second half play.
This is where I talked about the danger of playing a team like Baldwin Wallace. They have 4 different guys averaging more than 10 a game.
Simmons inside. Boy, what a strong move by Jackson Simmons.
And that's one of them. 2 threes and a bucket will put you up quick.
Burner has it. Scott down along the baseline. Gets the basketball. He's trying to make his move. Turnaround jumper, no good.
Zoltan got him again. Just sort of phased him off to his right, and he never really had a shot of drawing that back.
Mazzeo back over to Price. He's going inside, all the way inside and back out. Shot no good, but the rebound comes down to Nagy. It's going to be a foul. It's going to go against number 15, Michael Burner.
Should be a 2nd. It's not the way you want those fouls to pick up.
Inbounds pass comes into Ashton Price. Back out front to Nagy.
It seemed like Baldwin Wallace is playing with a much higher tempo for the first couple of minutes.
There's the shot, Jake Snyder. 6-point lead at 34-28.
So it felt like this game was a slugfest early on. It has picked up into a slow version of a track meet so far. And here it goes. The tempo continues.
Napier up and in.
There's the physics disguise again. Shouldn't have been able to have that one go.
Inside assist from Snyder. And Nagy scores. We've got a timeout. 17-16 to go. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. Ohio Northern will take the break with 17-16 to go. We'll take an opportunity to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons drive-thru, Jalapenos Mexican Grill, Whatever Cards and Games, and NKTelco bringing you OAC basketball from Ohio Northern. Replays of tonight's game will be shown on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Thursday, March the 2nd at 9 p.m. Sunday, March the 5th at 3 p.m. And you can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. 6-point difference. Ohio Northern finds themselves trailing after leading at halftime by 2 points.
ONU women up 29-21 midway through the third in Berea. This is an important possession for Northern because they cannot have an empty possession here. Too many negative possessions so far.
Scott with the basketball. There's the steal. Jake Snyder. Fast break pass Mazzeo. Mazzeo inside. They're going to call a foul on Scott. But just trying to get back and stop that easy layup.
Wasn't a great pass on the other end. There's a guy between you and the guy you're trying to pass to. You cannot try to hand him the basketball.
Normally it doesn't work, as Mazzio will connect on the free throw.
Number 3 in the OAC, scoring at 17.9. Again, if you're going to win the Stark County Player of the Year, you got to be pretty good. This kid has been that way.
Second free throw also good. Seems like there's a lot of good Massillon-Jackson players in the OAC.
I was trying to think of the other one, Kyle Young, who played at Ohio State. The other Kyle Young, not I think he's related to Neil. But had that great career at Ohio State. He was on that same championship team.
Over to Scott, looking at Napier down low. Simmons on him. I'll swing it around back to the other side, and Long into the lane. Nice move, landed Long. I'll tell you, if there's an underrated player on Ohio Northern, it might just be that young man.
Yeah, he can get shots from ridiculous angles. I think he and Bell, when they're in there together, as you see his move going to the basket, just kind of work that up there as he's going to the floor. He's able to make that go. I mean, he appeared in 60 games the first 3 years, was an all-OAC tournament selection, academic all-OAC. Had that 25 in Florida. That's what they need from him tonight.
Mazzio with the rebound. He's got the basketball. Will Miller on him. Berner comes out to help. Nagy over to Simmons. Snyder with it. Reverse pass. And there's the three from Ashton Price, and he gives his teammate credit with that assist.
Some would say the price is right.
It was right that time.
You know, it's not really a surprise that he is such a good three-point shooter. When he was in a senior in high school at Bay Village up in the Cleveland area. It's not that far from Berea, by the way, about 20 minutes. He actually played in the All-Star game, and he participated in their three-point shooting contest. He could also go because he had a school record 47 in one of his games. It's just a ridiculousness that if you're Baldwin Wallace, if you can get those 4 10-point scorers all going together, you can maybe do a lot more damage.
CJ Napier makes the free throw. Good shooting by Napier, 77% on the year at the free throw line.
I feel like he is a little tired right now, though, from as hard as he's had to work just to get any shot tonight.
Second one rolls home. 10 points for Napier. Lead is at 7.
Oh, and you limit up 10 now.
Well, that's certainly good news. Inside, Nagy, shot no good. Bell with a rebound.
He had the same idea they tried on the other side.
Napier's going straight in for the easy layup. Easiest shot he's had all night.
Yeah, that was one that you could kind of see the straight line to the basket. He was going to make sure he got one easy.
Mazzio, shot partially blocked.
That was Miller. Caught him on the way up. Another one of those plus possessions for Northern.
CJ Napier on display, and he'll draw the foul, much to the disbelief of Colton Nagy.
Well, I think Nagy's mad because he felt like CJ shoved off with the left hand, and I can hear, as you see the replay, the coach is next to me saying he doesn't even have the ball. He lost the ball on the way up. And the onus of it being that he did it himself.
Pierre will make the free throw. Jared Logan out of Elyria Catholic at 6'5" comes back in for Baldwin Wallace. Free throw, no good. We got a whistle.
It's gonna be on Miller.
Foul goes against Miller.
Aggressive move chasing that rebound, but he sort of grabbed the guy in front of him, shoved him out of the way. Worst part was he almost fell down.
4-point difference on the John and Tony's Restaurant scoreboard. Coming up on the 15-minute mark, second half action here at Ohio Northern. Logan back over to Watson. Snyder has it. Left side is Ash. They'll Bring it back out to Logan. Here's Mazzio inside the arc, and he'll connect.
With the shot
lead.
clock winding down off 2 screens. What a shot.
Burner back over to Napier. Napier wants to go into the lane. Shoots at the Long in the corner. Long comes into the lane now. He'll put it off the glass, and Landon Long, he'll connect. He's got 9, and the lead now is 4 points.
You know, he's got to know that he's going to be able to get to the basket because he passed up Napier wide open on the outside to be able to get to that.
Offensive foul on Mazzio. Take a look at the replay.
You can judge this for yourself. That looks to me clean, but the coaches right next to me have lost their mind, and the official that's handing the basketball you see there in your shot just came up to Coach Howe and said, I understand what you're saying, but you've got to chill.
Burner with the ball. He's looking for Napier inside. They're going to call the foul. It's going to go against number 24. That's Jared Logan.
If you thought Tom Howell was bad before, don't look over there now.
I'm not going to.
I'm not going to make eye contact with him because he's going to look at the replay. It's not going to do anything for him, but it's not going to make him happy.
Jackson Simmons will come into the game here in a moment as C.J. Napier will connect on the free throw.
There you go. Here's the replay. I thought it was a foul right there.
Right there.
Now, I don't know if it was just a delay in the official seeing it. Coach Howell asked, could you come here to the official? And he pretty much told him, I ain't got time for that.
Well, you can see the contact on the replay as we move on, as Mazzio has the basketball, ball on the floor. Miller with the steal. Good time for another steal for Miller. Bell down the lane. He'll dish it off. Napier off the glass, up and in. Northern has now pulled it to within 1 point.
I got to feel like Baldwin Wallace has got a timeout coming before long because just a slew of events have not gone right for them.
It's amazing how just a matter of a couple of minutes things can change. Driscoll in the lineup. Shot no good. Rebound Watson will put it up and in. 3-point difference. Bell with the basketball. Miller goes to the corner. There's Miller. Got it. Will Miller ties it. Boy, what a frustrating look on the Baldwin Wallace coaching staff.
Yeah, they gave him a 2, by the way.
Gave him a 2. Oh, I thought that was a 3.
I think when he came off that screen, his left foot might have been on the line.
So it's
kind of what it looked like.
1 point lead for Baldwin Wallace yet. It's going to be a travel. That's a turnover for Baldwin Wallace.
You thought Coach was unhappy before.
12:46 to go here in this contest. He's mad at just about everybody right now. Our score, Baldwin Wallace 45, Ohio Northern 44. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports. There you see the Ohio Northern University squad going back out on the court. They have the opportunity to regain the lead here with 12:46 to play here in the second half, as they have scrapped their way back to within 1 point of Baldwin Wallace. Jackets come out on fire starting the second half, took the lead.
I'll be honest with you, I took my headset off to listen to what Coach Howell was going to say during that break, and I may have not needed that because it was a very loud conversation one-sided, by the way, and it was the status of that was pretty much we need to be better. Northern is screening us on backsides every time, and you guys are falling for it.
Burner going inside, puts it up, shot doesn't go, rebound. Comes down to Ellington.
Rob Watson's slow getting up. They also told him during the break they need to move the ball to the backside better.
Snyder, there's the jumper.
That cures a lot of ailments.
The lead goes to 3. Up court to Burner. He'll toss it back out to Scott. He'll lose it as he moved to the basket up court. Logan, or rather Ellington with it. Ellington's going to be fouled by Scott. Adam a little frustrated at that call, as is many people in the building.
I tell you what, I thought that was a clean strip out of his hand from the angle I was sitting at.
Watson will go out.
Studer into the ball game. Studer, Jeffries, and Napier for ONU.
Comes the inbounds pass to Simmons.
Driscoll for the Yellow Jackets.
Nagy, Simmons, Snyder, got it. Jake Snyder warming up.
Ball movement for days. ONU women with their lead cut to 36-30 in the third.
Lead back up to 6. Long. Doesn't go.
Didn't set himself. If you see that shot from the angle, Coach Young's even saying, why did we not crash inside? Napier was the second foul. But Long was off balance. He could have easily kind of come down and set himself. There was no defender within 3 or 4 feet of him.
Coming up on 11 minutes to go. 6-point Baldwin Wallace lead. Let's see how Ohio Northern's defense approaches this Baldwin Wallace possession. Short running jumper.
Not well.
Snyder, not well. Timeout, Ohio Northern. 11:03 to go. Baldwin Wallace 52, Ohio Northern 44. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is a job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
Baldwin Wallace bench getting instructions from Coach Tim Held. Jake Snyder really has come alive here for the Jackets. 12 points. Pretty good effort by Jake Snyder. He seems to be hitting the shot in a game in which making shots is a very difficult task.
Yeah, and if Ohio Northern wants to have an easy time coming out of this timeout, I don't think they're going to, because it sounds like during the Baldwin Wallace huddle there that they pretty much know what Northern is thinking in terms of what they're going to do, both from scouting and played them once already. And if they go to it, whatever it is that Tiffin and whatever they stole, I think Baldwin Wallace knows what's coming.
Napier with the basketball. Miller.
Stay there, middle. Go baseline.
Napier back out to Miller.
Pete Jeffries might be the X factor in this set for Northern.
Napier, shot no good, gets his own rebound, pushes it back out.
Found 4 yellow jerseys and sit. I don't think so.
Miller. Napier. Move. Shot doesn't fall, but foul's going to go against number 14, Nagy.
We can't believe it, by the way. You'll see why here. I mean, he bodied him. Usually if you come across a guy with your body as you're trying to block the shot, you're generally going to get nailed for that. It's good news for Baldwin Wallace, though. Rob Watson's able to come back in.
Napier connects on the free throw. Difference is 7. CJ's got 17 points.
ONU women lead by 7 to start of the fourth quarter, 39-32. Again, what is essentially the way that things are breaking down, probably the OAC title game.
Napier connects again, 6 out of 8 at the line. 6-point difference.
12 in this half. Yeah, remember, it wasn't that long ago that Miller knocked down that 3 that they deemed a 2 to get Northern within 1.
Short jumper, no good by Watson. Strong pass inside from Simmons. High Northern. Napier is going to the hoop. Shot doesn't go. That's the foul they wanted. Up court quickly. They race up on the fast break. And with the bucket is Luke Driscoll.
That's unfortunate for Northern. Unfortunately, to continue that trend, though, they had to play 4-on-5, and it was quickly 1-on-2 on the other end because Napier stood there asking for the foul.
Long, short jumper. He gets it. Landon Long, he connects.
Said it was going to have to be somebody other than the big 2.
Snyder, he'll shoot the 3. That's short. Napier with good position.
Jackson Simmons didn't even try for it. He knew.
Long. Simmons comes out on Long. Napier out behind the arc. Gets it to Mason Studer. Studer back over to Will Miller. Now Burner. Miller inside the lane on Snyder. Turnaround. Got it. Will Miller.
That's the Elijah showing the ball trick.
Northern pulls to within 4 points. Timeout, Baldwin Wallace. 8 minutes, 50 seconds to go here in the second half. Our score, Baldwin Wallace 54, Ohio Northern 50. You are watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Baldwin Wallace with a 54-50 lead as Ohio Northern coach Neil Young, as you can see inside the Polar Bear huddle, mapping some strategy here to try and cut further into this 4-point Yellow Jacket margin.
In this traded for Russell Westbrook. Apparently they were just giving that guy away in LA.
Well, he's got a kind of a sizable contract.
It's also that. It's the entire GNP of what Ada makes in a year. And that's including the TV, the well-traveled TV place that is the Wilson Football Factory this week. They're on every news all night long. Did you know they make footballs?
They make footballs here, yep. Mazzio, he'll connect, boy.
You know, he makes threes here.
Coaching staff celebrating that one. They had that one mapped out.
Well, they told him to play defense going into the break. Apparently, they told that kid play offense.
Burner. Napier. Simmons. He'll score.
That's as good of defense as you can play if you're Simmons, too.
20 points, Napier. Inside shot, no good by Ashton Price.
Slow down. See, Northern's going to go super fast and make a mistake. They just run their offense and trust it, get those screens they had working early in this half.
Miller has it. Price is on him. Back out Napier. He'll try a 3. Shot no good. May have been foot on the arc that time, but up court, here comes Price. Price inside. Nice move. There it is. Ashton Price.
CJ paid the price for that one, too. No pun intended. Just raced right by him. That's kind of what's happened to Northern. That's how you encapsulate the story in this half. Whenever they get close, one thing goes wrong, and Baldwin Wallace makes them pass.
Burner back out to Napier. Napier. Double team. Back out Miller. Miller into the lane. Turnaround jumper. Got it. Will Miller.
You know, it's easy to do when you knock your guy to the ground.
Miller's got 13.
To get away with it. He had his career high here earlier in the season. At 20 against Capital.
Miller trying to get that steal. Price gets it back out to Watson. Driscoll, he'll connect. Well, that was a weird looking shot, but it goes in.
I would be willing to bet you if you put a camera down the baseline and pointed it straight down the baseline, he shot that from behind the backboard.
Conley with it. He'll get it back out to Burner. Miller, he'll hang on to the basketball. Burner goes inside, gets the basketball. Dumps it off to Napier.
I'd like to know how he got that pass across. Because as a smaller defender posting up, I thought he was going to go to the basket. Somehow he wrapped that around 2 defenders.
5-point difference in this. Baldwin Wallace 61. Ohio Northern 56. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
We are here and here and here. Munster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Munster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Munster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
See a nice assist here coming up from Michael Burner.
Just threw it around 2 different guys, and Napier might have a case that he got fouled there before he even put that shot up. Saw it earlier on as the band rocking away on the other side.
As a close-up and impersonal look.
Look right down at that book. Don't look up at the camera.
Northern Pep Band.
ONU women up 46-42 midway through the fourth. In Berea. That's a matchup of ranked teams, by the way. I believe it's 10 and 16 or 10 and 19. But the ONU women, how about that? Their highest ranking since the 16-17 season.
Baldwin Wallace with the basketball. We got 6:06 on that John and Tony's Restaurant scoreboard.
I'll tell you what, it kind of surprises me. It must be lack of hitting shots because this Baldwin Wallace team, that they don't have a better record than 9-12 because their ability to move the basketball and to get shooters in their natural spots.
Mazzio, just a stunner, 64-56.
I was going to say
22.
It's terrific, but then he didn't give me any time. That's his 3rd triple of the game.
Scott takes it to the hoop.
And on that switch, Scott took advantage of it, and I just heard the coaches say, to my right, that was a bad matchup with whoever was trying to guard Scott.
Watson. Over to Price. Watson open for just a moment, but Burner covers it up. Mazzio out behind the arc. Baldwin Wallace will toss it over to Price in the corner. Shot no good, and Miller will have the rebound. 6-point difference. Ohio Northern looking at a deficit.
Big difference in this ball game. Teams are shooting about the exact same, but it's 8 of 20 from 3 for Baldwin Wallace, whereas Northern just 2 of 7.
There's Burner. He'll connect wide open.
The coaches are immediately, as they're running that switch, saying they're going to go back to CJ Napier here in a second. Nope, Burton is wide open.
That pulls Ohio Northern to 4 points. Snyder back over to Nagy. Thought about shooting it again from behind the arc.
He's 2 of 5, but he hit one earlier.
Bell comes out with that mess with the basketball. He'll get it to Miller. Coming up on 4 minutes. Miller, Scott. Inside feed to Miller. Miller gonna work on Snyder.
He's got to get rid of it. That's 3 seconds.
Turnaround, he connects. Pleading for the 3-second call. Head coach Tom Heil from Baldwin Wallace.
10th point of the half for Miller.
Inside the lane goes Watson. It's going to be a foul as Watson moves to the hoop.
I'd imagine that the Baldwin Wallace coaching staff is probably not going to invite these officials to the really good chicken place in Berea down the street from the university next time they're up there.
2-point difference. Ohio Northern trying to claw back in this one. Snyder, 15-footer.
Buttons.
Timeout, Baldwin Wallace.
Whatever that inbound play was, I'd write that one down and circle it about 6 times. Just draw a huge stars on it.
Snyder, who's got 14 and 30-second timeout. Remind you that tonight's game brought to you by John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, Jalapenos Mexican Grill, whatever cards and games, and NKTelco. Also, tonight's game will be replayed on NKTelco Sports, Channel 3, and an HD on Channel 503. Thursday, March the 2nd at 9 p.m. Sunday, March the 5th at 3 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. 3 minutes, 40 seconds remain. The stage is set.
Bryn Serban coming up big, by the way, for the women. Tied at 46, just kissed one off the glass to put the ONU Bears back on top. Looks like about 3 or 4 minutes left in that ball game.
48-46, it's a tight one.
Not to surprise you, the reigning OAC Player of the Week doing Bryn Serban things. We'll see them here on Saturday at 4 o'clock.
Against John Carroll. Long out front, he has the basketball. He'll go to the left, Price is on him. Bell, get the double team or try for it. Back over to Napier into the lane. Let's see what the call is. That's going to be a charge against Napier.
About 5 seconds when Napier caught the ball outside. The defender, I think it was Nagy, slid down low. You'll see here. Watch when CJ makes his move. Actually, it's going to be Simmons. He slid over there, and all he had to do was wait. He knows that he has to go to the basket with a shot clock at 1.
Smart play all around by the Baldwin Wallace defense. Mazzio with it. Simmons back over to Snyder, pulls it in. Into the lane, turnaround jumper, doesn't go. Werner's going to get the rebound. Northern escapes that possession. Baldwin Wallace had some great looks.
Werner got caught on that screen. It looked like, again, it's hard to tell from an angle, that he stepped out on Ashton Price. You see this replay.
Boy.
I would hate to be that guy. I'd hate to be that official.
Baldwin Wallace will take the full timeout. 2:45 to go. Baldwin Wallace 66, Ohio Northern 62. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
Whatever Cards and Games in Ada is your locally owned, family-friendly business for all your gaming needs. We carry a wide range of collectible card games, board games, family games, role-playing games, educational games for all ages, and more. Stop in today for your much-needed expansion packs and war miniatures. We are an official tournament store for Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Cardfight Vanguard. Expect an enjoyable time at Whatever Cards and Games, where there's fun for everyone.
There you see the Baldwin Wallace bench. Yellow Jackets 27 out of 54 from the field, 50%, 8 out of 21 from behind the arc, 38%. Ohio Northern on the other hand, 26 of 48, 54%, 2 out of 7 from behind the arc at 28%. 2 threes compared to 8 for Baldwin Wallace.
Baldwin Wallace women now leading Ohio Northern 54-53 with 42 seconds to go in the ball game.
Another game coming down to its final possession.
That was a 3 with 40 seconds to go from Baldwin Wallace.
4-point lead for Baldwin Wallace. Mazzio, Burner trying to come out, get that double team. Mazzio from behind the arc. This time it doesn't go. Napier with the rebound.
I like about Mazzio, though, is as he's backing down to the baseline, he's got 2 defenders traveling with him, and he was still trying to set him up, and he had his head up the entire time.
Napier going inside, working on Simmons, trying to dish it off to Burner, back out to Bell. Shot clock at 7 seconds. Bell over to Miller. Shot clock at 2. He'll take the 3. Shot clock violation, Ohio Northern. Boy, that's a tough possession not to be able to come away with some points.
Same thing just happened to the women. Brooke Allen just missed a layup, and Baldwin Wallace came back down with it with 26 seconds to go. And they're getting to the point where Northern, the men are going to have here before long, no choice but to start fouling.
Mazzio. Back out to Simmons. Price. Shot clock at 10 seconds.
It's the one foul Burner tried to commit.
Foul will go against Burner. That's his 4th.
That's the line for Baldwin Wallace, Sultan Nagy.
3 of 12 on the year from a line. Mr. Nagy.
25%. Let's see how this results. He did hit a 3 earlier in this game.
That was his 2nd in 5 attempts. By the way, the media timeout with 24 seconds to go in the women's game. Northern down 2.
Bell with the basketball. Burner rolls to the hoop, back out to Long.
But Northern can't afford this, though. It's too much east and west.
Ball tipped away by Simmons.
I would be surprised if this isn't maybe if you fake the lob, maybe inside to either Burner or to CJ and try and catch somebody like Bell or Miller on the corner for a 3.
Napier has it. Shot blocked by Simmons, and Snyder will grab the rebound. Clock coming up on a minute.
That was not one of the options.
Baldwin Wallace will take the timeout. 61 seconds remain.
But that possession took about 18 seconds for ONU, in which they were not really attacking. They were moving side to side, trying to figure out what they were going to do. I would think you're playing for 2 possessions here if you're Northern. Well, 3, because 2 plus 1, the defensive side, and you're going to try to run your best 2 plays.
Good defensive play really there by Simmons, though. That changed it because we've seen it all year after year going inside there. He usually somehow is able to make the shot or get fouled.
Well, and if you think about that play, though, everything he's going in behind him to his left, everything is to his left. All 4 guys are from the elbow straight up or to his left. There's nobody behind him on the right side of the floor. So all the action is designed going one way. It allowed Baldwin Wallace, I didn't see who the second guy was, but to bring somebody down the lane with Simmons and just sell out that it's going to go to CJ on that block.
66-62 our score. 61 seconds remain. And Baldwin Wallace will have the basketball. Foul situation, Ohio Northern with 9. Baldwin Wallace with 6.
Kristen Luersman hit a layup to tie the game at 55 with 7 seconds in Maria.
Ray Ellington will inbound it. Simmons, Mazzio.
Again, screen game so good for Baldwin Wallace.
Ellington with it. Back over to Mazzio. Mazzio.
You got to foul him.
Conley on him. He goes inside, puts it up and in.
So instead of fouling him 40 feet away from the basket, he drives right through the heart of 3 different defenders and gets an easy layup.
And it's a 6-point difference, 68-62, and Mazzio, he has 24 points. 9 out of 17 from the field, 24 points for the contest.
He's got an innate ability to break a defender on that first step and just get himself down the lane. You see why he's a 1,000-point scorer.
Jake Snyder has 14 for Baldwin Wallace. Ashton Price with 8. Zoltan Nagy with 7. Rob Watson with 7. Luke Driscoll with 6. Jackson Simmons only got 2 points.
But how many points has he prevented?
He's
at
prevented
least 2 you assume that CJ might have been able to make. And then he's got a couple of other really good rebounds.
Simmons averages a little over 10, so like you said, his defense.
Women are going to overtime in Berea.
OT, well, the 2 best teams in the OAC, and Baldwin Wallace and Ohio Northern women's basketball going at each other. Long for 3.
Wow.
And Long is going to shoot 3 free throws.
I think the Baldwin Wallace coaches are going to lose their minds because their thought process is he was halfway to John Antoni's when that ball was in the air, just on that high arc. I didn't think he was going to be able to get a good look at it just from the angle that he was at, but credit Landon Long for being able to at least get to the free throw line. He's 0 for 2 today. You can see here, watch on the pullback, I think that might be the shooter lands sort of thing. You're allowed to land, and he landed on a defender's foot.
So Long will make the free throw. He'll have 1 more to shoot. Ohio Northern coach Neil Young will take the timeout with 27.9 seconds remaining. 5-point difference. Got to believe Long will. Odds are with Ohio Northern that he'll connect on the free throw. So it's a 4-point game, and you need to foul immediately.
But it can't be Burner, because if he's in there, he's already got 4. Polar Bears shooting 9 of 13 from the line. Baldwin Wallace not that much better, 4 of 7. 2 of 7 for ONU from 3. 8 of 22 for Baldwin Wallace. Fast break points aren't real great, but Northern has a massive advantage at 46 of 22 in the paint. And they're down right now by 5. You'd like to get something here, but I hate these plays because you have to purposely give away a point in an attempt to try to get the ball back. You're going to get Bell and see who Miller ends up down there. Again, it can't be Burner.
Burner's still in the lineup.
So Adam Scott's going to hope. I got to believe he's going to try to miss left. Because there we go. There's a switch to put Simmons on the other side.
Napier, I believe, will come in on the next dead ball. Connects. Here's the sub.
And they went the other way with it. Just try to. That's. I know people will hate it, but to me, that's the right call with 28 seconds because you're going to have to commit a foul anyways. Why not get yourself or at least try to get a point?
Price up court. Mazzio fell with the reach on Mazzio.
Took 5 seconds off the clock.
So Mazzio will go to the line. 76% free throw shooter coming into tonight. 42% from the field, 37% from behind the arc entering all tonight's game. He'll connect. Makes it a 5-point difference.
I would be surprised if he misses either of these. At 25.
Ohio Northern will take the timeout with 22.9 seconds. It's a full timeout, so we'll take a break. Baldwin Wallace, 69, Ohio Northern 64. You're watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
At Four Seasons drive-thru, we have the coolest beverages in town and specials to satisfy all appetites.
Check out our Facebook page for all the details and times of Brownie's Pies. Get this great pizza by the slice or take home a whole pie. And don't forget his spectacular subs.
At Four Seasons drive-thru, we have all the supplies you need for game day celebrations.
Four Seasons drive-thru, 205 North Main Street in Ada. Great drinks, great food, wonderful service, and amazing prices.
Go Bears!
22 seconds left in this one on the John and Tony's Restaurant scoreboard. 5-point lead for Baldwin Wallace as they'll step to the free throw line. Anthony Mazzio will connect on the free throws.
Probably not to shock you, your girl Maui hit a three to give Northern the lead, 60-59. 2:21 to go in the overtime.
Mazzio connects, 6-point difference. Ohio Northern could really use their third three of the night.
It's not going to miss.
Bell, Berner, Miller, he'll take the shot off target, and the rebound is going to come down to Mazzio, and he'll be fouled with 10.6 seconds, so that's pretty well going to do it for this one.
Yeah,
so the Ohio Northern women are up by 1 point.
1:51 to go in overtime.
Lots of time left in that one.
And again, Brooke Allen with a missed layup. Casey Knippen missed a layup. Bears had to foul.
Free throw is good. Lead is at 7 points.
Anthony Mazzio likes playing against this team. He's had a pretty good career of it.
Second free throw also good.
6 of 6 in the second half. He's 7 of 8 overall.
Miller back out the long. He'll shoot the three. Shot no good. That's going to do it. Baldwin Wallace, well, 0.8 seconds on the clock. Ball will go out of bounds, and they'll hand it inbounds, and Baldwin Wallace takes a 72-64 win over Ohio Northern.
We'll talk to Coach Young coming up here in a second as the Bears dropped to 4-5 here at home this year. They're 9-13 overall, and that may have just popped their bubble on being able to have an outside shot at an OAC playoff berth. Baldwin Wallace stays alive at now 10-12. They go to 6-9 on the year in the OAC, and may have a shot with Capital, who has a 2-game lead on both teams at 7-7 coming into tonight, getting throttled in Tiffin and Heidelberg, and a conversation with Coach Young.
Ohio Northern University coach Neil Young. You take a look at the second half, a little bit maybe a more up-tempo and more to Baldwin Wallace's style of play. As you look at that half of play, how do you evaluate it?
I mean, I think the biggest thing that hurt us in the second half was the first half. You know, we had great opportunities to score in the first half. We didn't capitalize. So we got a chance to go into halftime, you know, up 7 or 8. We go in up 2. We don't capitalize on our opportunities. They come out in the second half. They do capitalize on their opportunities. They go on a little bit of run. Like, in this league, like, if you get good opportunities to score, you got to cash in more often than not, and we just did not do that. We let them get in a little bit of a rhythm, and then, I mean, I thought they hit some tough ones, but, like, you know, we just have to execute better. You know, we didn't execute well enough tonight.
When you take a look at what's ahead of you with John Carroll on Saturday, execution, again, I presume, is the key?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 straight games now where I feel like we've done enough offensively to score more points, and for whatever reason, we're just not scoring at the rate that we need to score. So, yeah, we got to continue to defend. I mean, our magic number is 65, and they scored more than that tonight. I mean, when we hold teams to under 65, we're pretty good. We let them kind of get going that first half of the second half. They really got it going, and so we got to put a full 40 minutes together.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Baldwin Wallace wins over Ohio Northern University here at the Sports Center. You are watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.
households are using more connected devices than ever before. TVs are streaming, smartphones are browsing, security cameras are watching, and virtual assistants are, well, assisting.
You'll need an umbrella today.
As you add more devices, we are constantly improving our technology to deliver the fastest and most reliable internet to your home. So make sure you have enough bandwidth.
Get NKTelco high-speed internet with speeds up to 1 gig. Call 1-888-NKTelco today.
Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County has a job for you. Grand Lake Health System has over 800 employees. Included is Joint Township District Memorial Hospital and multiple physician practices. And we're now hiring a variety of positions that fit all education and skill levels. Plus, you'll get a great benefit package offered to both full and part-time workers. Join this rewarding career and help your community in the process. Contact Ohio Means Jobs Auglaize County for all your employment needs.
Ohio Northern falls to Baldwin Wallace 72-64. There's a couple of interesting things that Coach Young said there. You go back to that first half, Michael, and the missed opportunities on offense. I think that's what he was alluding to in answering the one question. They missed some great opportunities in that first half and consequently only had a 2-point lead.
Yeah, I was trying to write down how he said it. He said the worst thing that happened to our second half was our first half. And I thought, that's one way to put that. Okay, and the worst part is they were leading by 2 at the half. Just too much from Anthony Mazzio. He had 28 points in the game, ends up getting 16 of the 28 in the second half. Ashton Price came out and hit those back-to-back threes that gave his team a 27-26 lead, and ultimately, I think it was 32-28 at the point of the second one. Zoltan Nagy hit just his second triple in 5 attempts this year. Things that can go right down the stretch go right for Baldwin Wallace. They have a couple of kind of odd plays that go their way. Northern wins the rebounding battle. Too many turnovers. Just didn't get threes. And I can think of at least 3 of those 7 misses that you see there on their three-point attempts that they were off balance. They were just quick catch and shoot. We have to force this up and kind of hope and pray for something to happen. And that's what I talked about earlier on about Baldwin Wallace did an extremely good job, especially in the first half and then later in this ball game when Northern had to have certain things happen, of making them do something than what their number one go-to is. If your go-to is take a step to the right, take the shot, they'll make you either take 2 steps right or you have to hokey-pokey yourself to the left a little bit more. And they forced Northern out of their comfort zone, made the right plays, and you see why they were able to beat them twice this year and now 5 times overall.
Yeah, and you look at C.J. Napier, he had 22 points, but Baldwin Wallace's emphasis on defense was totally on C.J. here tonight, and he got the 22 points, but at key times, like you mentioned there, they were able to come up with a big defensive play.
Well, and I said before the game that I felt like it would have to be other guys other than him that would have to help stand up and do so. Will Miller ends up with 15. You get 13 from Landon Long. But the problem is guys that you're used to getting massive production from, say Adam Scott, he was taken out of the game at times, wasn't able to really help out the way that he's used to. And the 4 top scorers for Baldwin Wallace helped get theirs, and they're walking out of here, getting back on the bus and driving about 2 hours back to Berea with a win.
Boy, and you look at that Anthony Mazzio's line, 28 points, 9 out of 17 from the field, 3 out of 8 from behind the arc, but, free throws, 7 out of 8.
And 1 turnover.
1 turnover. Huge.
For as much as he handles the ball, and there you see number 3 cutting to the basket again, that might be the biggest number that I can tell you. 1. The primary ball handler for this team had 1 turnover tonight.
And he certainly did not hurt his number 2 in the OAC in scoring status at all with 28 tonight. So big win for Baldwin Wallace as they continue to keep their hopes alive. There's a basket there by Will Miller.
It's going to be 2 of them because the Baldwin Wallace women with 15 seconds have the ball. and a 65-62 lead on number 10 Ohio Northern on the women's side.
So Baldwin Wallace tough on Ohio Northern, both in the men's and women's basketball courts here tonight. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for tonight's game: John and Tony's Restaurant, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, Jalapeno's Mexican Grill, Whatever Cards and Games, and NKTelco, our scoreboard sponsor tonight. John and Tony's. Additional sponsors: Whatever Cards and Games, Four Seasons Drive-Thru, and Jalapeno's Mexican Grill with locations in Ada and Shawnee. Northwest Ohio Liquidations, Holiday Inn Express in Wapakoneta. And a reminder that tonight's game will be replayed on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Thursday, March the 2nd at 9 p.m. Sunday, March the 5th at 3 p.m. And you can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. Once again, our final score here, 72 for Baldwin Wallace, 64 for Ohio Northern. I'd like to thank our crew here tonight as well. On the cameras, Mark Fissel, Paul Downing, and Kurt Kuffner. Our assistant director tonight, Jeff Henschen. Our director, Scott Robinson. I'm Dave Helmstetter, and alongside me tonight, Michael Hearn. You have been watching college basketball on NKTelco Sports.